And hello and welcome everyone to the Club Growth Acceleration Series. Woo! Yay! Woo! It's great to see everyone here. It's been a fun few meetings so far, and I think we've all learned quite a lot. And I think today we'll hear a different side of the story that we haven't really heard so much in the past few sessions. Because today this webinar will be led by Endri Ndoni. He's a person of many colors, right? Forms, frequencies. He's of Albanian ethnicity and nationality. He currently lives in Tirana, but he lived and is a citizen of Rome in Italy. He's the managing partner for Albania and Kosovo in an international firm providing services in executive search, leadership, consulting, talent management. He's the managing partner of all of that. Of course, he's a happy father, proud father of I think an adorable 4-year-old girl. He's a collector of curiosity, and Endri is on a life journey to explore all forms of human potential and make ways to help people discover and develop their talent. He loves good food, better music, and best creative ideas. Last year, he founded and sponsored the first Toastmasters club in Albania, Toastmasters Tirana, in which he currently serves as president. Also, he was very much the person who led the Winterthur event, which I think we'll hear about later on, and I know that was a great success. So, please welcome Endri for the seminar called Toastmasters Fletchkeep. Minifund, right? Minifund.
Thank you so much, Laur. Faleminderit. Now, we will be having some Albanian language exercises throughout this seminar, okay, if you don't mind. We do these exercises all the time whenever we have fellows from abroad, from international. So thank you so much, Laur, for the lovely presentation. Thank you as well for inviting me to this seminar, which I gladly accepted. I hope there will be a knock counter in the audience for me tonight. I tend to get carried away when I speak passionately, so I can bet that I will ace my counting today. But I suppose one of the club members will be doing that. All right, so I will try to share the screen. I prepared some presentation. You see that I'm all branded. You see the Albanian flag, and you see the cap. This is a traditional cap that Albanian men used to wear since ancient time. And you see the little flag in here. Now, of course, there were no headphones back in the days, so you see that it's a bit funny. But if I remove the headphones, it stays much better on my head. Okay. And this became quite famous in the winter event that you mentioned, Laura. So I will try to share my screen now. I think you can see it. Yes, please give me a sign. Yes.
Put it on full screen, please.
Full screen, and here we are. So,
okay, there we go. It's now good. Now it's good.
Excellent. So I have an exercise immediately for all of you. If you can all open your microphones right now. Please.
Don't be shy. Mics, everyone.
Open your mics. And we will try to say it, the title of the seminar tonight, in a proper way. Toastmasters flat ship. 1, 2, 3.
Toastmasters flat ship.
Yes. Manafund, it means finally. So finally, Toastmasters speaks Albanian. Since June of last year, Toastmasters speaks Albanian, Toastmasters flat ship. So the seminar that I will be sharing with you today is the story of Toastmasters Tirana and how we managed to break new ground in an uncharted territory. And this was the first time that Albania got into a map. Another exercise, Mirmbrama. Open your mic, please. Mirmbrama. Mirmbrama. Mirmbrama means good evening. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this presentation. Mirmbrama, remember that. A few words about myself. I am the managing partner of a consulting firm, as Laura said. It's an international firm present in over 50 countries worldwide. We do executive search and leadership consulting and talent management and so on. So whatever is related to human capital. I'm an HR and leadership consultant, of course. I am a talent assessor, a certified talent assessor and trainer. Happy husband and proud father of a 4-year-old daughter. And as Laur said, I am indeed a collector of curiosity. And this goes back to the early childhood. I've always tried to pick whatever new information came into my way, and I still pursue it to this day. Matter of fact, one of the quotes that I like the most is, when I grow up, I want to be a child. So I hope that I will still manage to keep the childlike curiosity and wonder as the years go by. And before delving into the Toastmasters theme of tonight, as you can see there, I consider myself a rookie Toastmaster with 15 years of experience, and I will try to explain that to you. So, first of all, I wanted to share my journey with public speaking. So you can see that it starts in 2010. Or better, up until 2010, I was literally terrified of public speaking. So I was in a very intensive fear zone, but I'm speaking biological fear, like refusing to go and to speak, not only to an audience, but even in one-to-one engagement. I had quite a few problems with that. And I did hate myself for that, to be honest. I never had a problem with writing or with expressing myself with words in written form, but somehow I had this block that prevented me to speak and to being heard. So, Chrissy, can you please mute your mic? Oh, sorry. So after the fear part, since as I said, I despise myself, I try to build up a bit of courage. So I said to myself, look, maybe it's worth giving it a try, right? If you don't like yourself, maybe on the past the line, it can turn into something nice and pleasant. So I forced myself to at least start to try. And then it's what I call the discovery phase. So little by little, step by step, I started to gain a bit of confidence, and I started to realize that it wasn't so bad. And actually, I wasn't so bad in speaking and in public speaking. And also, I discovered that courage and the discovery, the wonder of this new thing was not enough, of course. So it would not be successful without being disciplined, right? So it needed some consistent and persistent approaches and systems to keep working on yourself and whatnot. So discipline is definitely the step number 4, which brought me to the final step, which is vocation. So after going all through these steps, in a very amazing way, what was the biggest fear that I had became the biggest passion that I had. It became such strong a passion that eventually I refused to study engineering, even though I completed my high school education for a technical field, electronics and communication. And I chose business instead. I chose business because I was so excited to speak with people and not to machines that I totally changed my vocation, basically. And as you can see now, as I said, I'm currently a consultant and trainer, so eventually I provide this as a service to clients. Yeah, so the journey, as I said, started in 2010. So this explains that 15 years in the making, a Toastmaster with 15 years of experience. Why? Because through this journey, I started jumping from all this, from one step to another. Now, of course, I needed some help. I needed people and materials to rely on. So I started with reading, of course, and I remember this was one of the first books that I purchased in Rome, by the way, Great Speeches. So words that made history. So I kept reading and rereading multiple times and getting inspired by who is considered, or who were considered and still are, the best speakers in human history, right? And I still remember, I have a dream, and ich bin ein Berliner, and that's not what your country, and so on and so forth. So that was quite inspiring. And that book in particular helped me overcome that first fear and keep building the courage. After reading, or besides reading, I watched videos. I watched YouTube videos, and then gentleman over there, Mohammed Kaftani, was the person who introduced me to Toastmasters, basically. So it took me 5 years working on my own until he won the World Championship of Public Speaking, and I got so impressed and so inspired by his speech. And I still remember it vividly when I saw the first Toastmasters logo in there. So it was by that time that I started to research and getting into knowing Toastmasters world and the fact that they have this World Championship of Public Speaking and so on. So that was a sort of target for me, getting to explore this new world. And of course, apart from reading and watching, I never quit experimenting. So whenever I had the chance, I got in front of an audience of any kind and I tried to speak and to exercise myself. But again, this was done by myself. So I had no involvement with Toastmasters whatsoever until 2015. Now, you see the title in there, The Perfect Roommate in Milan. Now, some of you here in the audience know already can translate it, but I will explain you the story behind that this provocative phrase. So no, I'm not referring to a roommate that I had in Milan. I never lived in Milan, actually, but a friend of mine did, a very close friend of mine going back to the high school times. So in 2015, I was so excited about public speaking and about this new discovery called Toastmasters that I used to call her quite frequently and say, hey, Liz, I discovered this, and have a look at this video, and you see this guy, and then the second place and third place and so on. And the very first moment I mentioned to my friend the word Toastmasters, she started laughing. And I said, why are you laughing? She said, you know why? Because my roommate that lives with me, we share the same space, she is a Toastmaster. She joined Toastmasters in Milan last year, and I think you should have a chat with her. Now, this roommate of my friend was none other than Miss Francesca Gamicchia, the current district director. So you imagine that, now, of course, I didn't know who Francesca was, nor what was her role in there. I think it was the first year that she became a Toastmaster. I think she was involved with the Explorers Club, if I'm not wrong. But matter of fact is that we had this first phone conversation with Francesca Gamicchia, and she kind of explained some more information after our common friend introduced us. And eventually she managed to persuade me enough for me to write an email to the new club's team back then in 2015, which eventually failed. And it failed not because of Toastmasters, it failed because of me, because somehow, and I promise I cannot recall right now, I didn't answer back. So apparently the call was not strong enough. Probably the moment was not right. I don't know. I don't have a rational explanation, right? I just know that I still have preserved that email and it has no response from my side. So they were giving the chance for me to obtain information, which I didn't. So it was not meant to be. This is how I choose to see it, and Francesca, I think, as well chooses to see this as well. So it was not meant to be back in the day. Second attempt, you see the high time jump. So we are going from 2015, early 2016, to October 2023. So it's almost 7 years after. So 7 years after, I received this WhatsApp message saying, hey, Endri, how about opening that long-awaited club in Albania? Of course, by Francesca Gamicchia. And this image over here is basically what happened to my brain when I read this message. So it started with all the logical thing, and then with all the colors, it felt right. Finally, it felt right. Although, I must admit that by the moment I received that message, I was so overwhelmed with work and with family issues. So it was, in theory, not the right timing, or logically, it wasn't supposed to be the right timing, but it did feel right. So this was the biological thing that happened inside my brain, as you can see it. So kind of I had it pictured in my mind, and I said, yes, let's do it. Now it's time. So that reminded me of this quote. It popped in my head just like this. Luck helps the prepared mind. It's Louis Pasteur. And the way I chose to see it is that in October 2023, my mind was prepared enough, and I assume also Francesca's mind, as she was the club growth director. And of course, she had much more experience in leadership within Toastmasters and so on. So we were both much more prepared and ready to make this, take this thing in motion, right? And it was not luck. I don't think it was just pure luck. It was meant to be this time. So what happened after October and after a few calls, and actually I visited some clubs. I saw Katja for the first time in one of the meetings in Pisa, if I'm not wrong, if I remember correctly. So I visited a few clubs during this period, and it was a very special date, the 14th of March 2024. Now in Albanian it's Dita e Verës. Can we please open the mics again and say it?
Dita e Verës.
Dita e Verës. Yes, Dita e Verës means the day of summer. So Verës means summer, but it's actually spring. So it's a pagan celebration. So we celebrate in the 14th of March the first day of spring. So in that first day of spring, Francesca takes the plane and comes to Tirana. And we sit in this lovely place in here. It's called the New Bazaar. And we speak, I think, for more than 4 hours about foundations, about strategy, about concepts, and me asking a lot of questions from the silliest one to the most complex one. So I was so eager and hungry and thirsty to get as much information as possible about how to start a club, how to set up a club, how to make a club successful, etc. And very patiently, Francesca, in that lovely place in there, explained and answered to all of my questions, and we were ready. 18th of March 2024, application to organize was approved. Of course, I did send the application to organize the club immediately the 14th of March, and it got approved. And here is a screenshot of my email, because that was quite rewarding to me to see that this thing was taking shape, right? This new club, now it was an entity, although a prospect entity, but it had a number, it had the uniqueness. And for the first time, so this was the signal that Albania existed, even though it was not chartered yet. And after you have a prospect club, what do? Of course, you need members. So first thing, I started gathering friends, and I mentioned that I would mention Christy Tirana, that is following us, because Christy Tirana, he is a former colleague of mine and quite a close friend, even before Toastmasters, but he was the first person in Albania to whom I exchanged this new idea of opening a club. So he was the first to listen about Toastmasters, and he said, hell yeah, I like it, let's go for it. And Lady Leka, who is still a member of our club in Tirana, she was the second after Christy. She's also a colleague of mine, and she had the same approach. And she said, whoa, lovely, I love that, let's do it. So together with Christy and Lady, because they embraced the idea directly, we started to organize the demo meeting. And we chose, because we were trying to avoid vacation, holidays, etc. So trying to find the perfect date. And of course, there was a lot of logistics involved. So we settled for the 7th of May, which was the demo meeting launch in Tirana. But in the meantime, we took care of the website, of opening the LinkedIn page, of sending emails, individual follow-ups, and so on. And this is the website that was created. And by the way, it was, we owe a huge thanks to Nicola Di Grazia, because he was quite helpful and fundamental in setting up all the technical infrastructure for the website of Tirana. So he did make our job quite easy in that very intensive phase while we were planning the demo meeting. So you see the 7th of May 2024, demo meeting of Toastmasters Tirana, the launching time. Toastmasters flagship, and you can see Toastmasters ship in here. We managed to find 92 participants in the demo meeting, which was quite a remarkable number, actually. Combined, of course, between Imprezas and online, it was done in hybrid mode. And, of course, a big portion of the audience had no idea whatsoever what was Toastmasters. But we did get a lot of love and support from experienced members of our district. So guided by Francesca Gamicchia and the support of Katia, Margherita, Joseph, Claudio, Flavio, Patricia, Laura as well. Sorry, Laura, for not including. I want to say it here in person. And so many more. We managed to pull off quite an interesting and insightful demo meeting. You can see some pictures in here from the audience and people that were involved. And it's quite funny because it started with a bottle of dal, with a bottle of buttermilk. So this is a sort of traditional drink made of yogurt in Albania, which in my opinion, it was nice to have as a joke, but it failed miserably the first time. So it was a joke gone bad. Eventually, only the Albanian speakers got my joke. The international didn't. But that bottle of dala is still a sort of mascot to our club. You know, this is a sort of element that marks the beginning of the club. And of course, since it was something brand new in the country, there were a lot of question marks from participants. 7 days after first meeting. So immediately start with a regular meeting. And you can see that only 8 visitors from Albania participated in that meeting. Now, that was a bit of a disappointment because when you see 90+ people attending, you expect at least 20% of them to attend. But it was not the case. And you can see we also don't have a picture of that event. That's why I put this graphic. This is how unprepared we were for that first meeting. But this is the list of the people that immediately embraced the idea. And we have Francesca and Christy in here, but also some other ladies and gentlemen that are still part of the club. And then we had the next one after 2 weeks, 30th of May, you see only 11 people. Then the 13th, only 14 people. So then it started to become a bit frightening or disappointing in the sense that is this idea really sticking or what? And to add the cherry on top of the cake, I have included what I still call, and I will forever call, Mr. Detractor. Now, he was a visitor in the 13th of June. And I have quoted in precise word what he said to me after we finished the meeting. And he said, Endri, I like the initiative and the enthusiasm, but this thing is not going to work. It's not going to work because this is how Albanians are, right? It's something new, people are curious and so on, but it's going to fail. And he put it just like that, which was, you know, quite rude in my opinion as well. I mean, if you're not providing any constructive feedback, why are you saying that sort of critic? But anyway, I didn't let myself, to be honest, getting too much emotionally involved with that. But somehow that quote still resonates in my mind. And it was that sort of aggression that was needed to prove that this thing is going to work. And not only it's going to work, but it's going to be shiny and it's going to be great. So after that 13th of June, we engaged together with the people that were already in the team with intensive social media marketing and word of mouth and referrals and individual calls and messages, trying to build up a group because it was worth it. And you can see the immediate jump. So by the 24th of June, by the next upcoming meeting, we were already 25 people. And we all know that the magic number for Toastmasters is 20, right? And we already had 25 people. And not only that, but we managed to conduct our first official election because by that time the ExCom was appointed. So this is the ExCom that was chosen. And so far we have only one change because one of the members, our former secretary, Elsa, she resigned because life happens, as we said. And currently Besiana is our secretary. But you see how remarkable it was for us getting this soon into a built-up club, and with the ExCom, with the leadership team already established. And yes, this was the long-awaited certificate, and we were looking forward to it because we, yes, we are very happy still. I mean, I still get a bit moved when I see it. You see that the charter date is June 26, 2024, and you imagine how the headquarters are finishing the Toastmasters year. So although we sent them by the end of June, we received the confirmation by mid-July. So we were like refreshing our emails every day to see that long-awaited charter certificate going on. But this was, of course, the biggest milestone for all of us. And I think all of us in Tirana do remember very vividly that summer day, because we also closed the activity of the club because of summer vacation, and we were so much exchanging with each other after this long-awaited chartering. We did this exercise, so after the charter, Toastmasters fled ship. So that was finally, the Albania was on the map, and the Albanian language, which is one of the most unique languages in the world, was finally part of Toastmasters. I wanted to include this slide because I do want to give recognition to each and every single founding member of the Toastmasters Tirana Club. So these are the people that believed in the idea, although almost all of them had no clue what it was. So we discovered things together, we believed in each other, and we made it happen. So this is a very special thanks from my side and on behalf of the club to all the founding members. These were the club sponsors and club mentors. Now, of course, this is not an easy journey. It needs a lot of support and advice. So you figured out by now that Francesca Gamicchia was, of course, fundamental to the club, because she accompanied the club throughout all the chartering process, and also provided mentorship in the initial phase. And myself, of course, because I was together with Francesca founding the club. But you can see that a club mentor is our dear Francesca Davide, that is following us, our Vice President Education, a champion. She was crucial in the beginning by providing support, taught us what pathways were, made up the agenda for every meeting, contacted every single international Toastmasters that she could think of, asking to help us with the club. So our two Francescas were fundamental for growing the club, especially in the first 6 months after the chartering. So thank you to our sponsors and mentors as well. And in the meantime, not only Toastmasters Tirana came to life, but also the second Albanian speaking club came to life. And Laur mentioned it before, Albanian Speakers Abroad. Together with Migena, the current president, and Edmir, the vice president membership, we united forces to charter the second Albanian speaking club, which operates fully online. And you can see that by the very last day of June of the Toastmaster year, the Albanian Speakers Abroad was chartered as well, and it was instrumental in providing the Smedley Distinguished Award to the District 109. So that was quite an achievement from the Albanian side, immediately giving a sort of modest contribution to the district by chartering 2 clubs in a record time, I would say. Now you can see, going back to the history, so you can see the first agenda. Now, of course, it was very far from the Toastmaster standard. We had no clue what Easy Speak was, not what the roles were for that matter. We took roles without fully understanding them. So you had people with 0 experience conducting the general evaluator role and making fun of everybody. And the feedback, I don't want to get into the feedback, but it was fun. It was fun and it was engaging, and there was a lot of commitment by all of us. We were actually in there to start learning together, and our Vice President Education, Francesca, she made sure that we learned the right things. And somehow, excellence became our modus operandi. So we learned, we collaborated, we started moving as a team, as a single entity. Most importantly, we built a culture of inclusion, of support, of positivity, and we started aiming for the stars. I mean, why not? We did it with the charter, so why not shoot for the stars for bigger challenges? We managed, and we still do, everything that we do has friendship and fun in its core. So after each meeting, we gather for karaoke, to have some drinks and some chats, exchanging also feedback with each other. We have conducted, and we conduct organized nights out and trips with each other. We exchange messages and calls quite frequently. I mean, not only the ExCom members, but a lot of members as well. So there is this spirit of friendship going on between us, and it's the glue that keeps us together. I said we shoot for the stars, and we mentioned Winterthur. So in fall 2024, you imagine a club that has been chartered for 3 months. The new district leadership, the newly elected district leadership, among which is Laur and Katja in here and Francesca. So eventually they had this discussion, and they thought that Tirana might be a candidate for the winter event that hadn't happened in the district for quite a while. And they proposed it to us. And what we did, of course, we said yes. I mean, why not? Let's organize it. I mean, what better way to get very deeply and rapidly into the Toastmasters world, and what a great opportunity to meet so many people, experienced people coming to Tirana, right? But this was the ideal scenario. Now we needed to get there. So work started immediately. We made up a team. I was the event chair, as Laura said, but we made up a team composed of members of Tirana, taking care of all the logistic and the organizing part within the country. And we had an invaluable support from the district and from Katja in particular, but not only. A lot of other people, Claudio as well, was fundamental in spreading the word, Nestor of marketing, spreading the word into Toastmasters District 109 to come and visit the newest kid in the block, Albania. And we must have done pretty well because, as you see, we managed to attend 120 people in Tirana from all around the district. There were workshops and debate competition. We also had some special attendance and keynote speaker. We had Lilian Shaftakola, the Region 10 advisor, coming. She chose Tirana among all the other districts that could have been in. And we had the international director, Francesco Fedele, as well, joining. And of course, we included a lot of fun in the activities. So we had the karaoke, we had Tirana sightseeing, dances of all kinds. You cannot imagine all the Albanian dances that everybody learned. And also the Albanian traditional toast racing, because we have a cultural thing with raising toasts in Albania. And it is still remembered to this day as an insightful, entertaining, and friendly event. So Winterthur is part of history. These are some photos that I wanted to share with you, so you can see all the happy faces in there, quite a big room. You can see everybody having the Albanian dances. This is a traditional dance. You can see the people from all nationalities learning how to do it. Eventually, all the traditional dresses became quite famous, so everybody wanted to take a picture with the dresses. Some of the fellow Toastmasters actually purchased some of them. These are handmade, by the way. You can see some of the activities that were even online. So quite a remarkable experience, winter event. Yeah. I want to use this chance to thank the sponsors that were also fundamental for our club. So Texo and Bitter are to this day sponsoring the activities of the club, one for the technical infrastructure and one for the venue, which provided free of charge. And we have some sponsors for the Winterthur, Nina, Vista, and Hera Design for the venue organization and the logo and the website. Fast forward, the in the 14th of May, I traveled to Rome because I won the club international speech contest, and I was traveling to Rome in Area 3 because we are aligned with Area 3 to represent Albania and Tirana, and I managed to win in the area contest as well. Funny enough, and I was happy and proud as well, that another Toastmasters member, which also happened to be my brother, managed to win the evaluation contest in the area level, and not only that, but we managed to win the 3rd place in the division contest in Verona afterwards. So you can imagine all the excitement and the thrill that was just building. So right after this huge winter event, you go to the area contest and to the division contest and participate, and you get to get involved in the sport of Toastmasters. So quite an amazing experience as well. Here I am quoting our Vice President Education. So this was a quote that she said in the beginning, and I keep it very close to my heart. Because really, I was very lucky and honored to be the first one to turn on the light. And today I am happy and moved to be surrounded by so many friends that not only are keeping the light on, but are making it shine much more brighter than it was at the beginning. And ta-da, you can see that today, the highest recognition that we have, we are a President Distinguished Club. You can see the checklist in there. We are just one level too short, but it's translated only in 2 speeches, so it's going to happen. Within the first year, Toastmasters Tirana is going to be President Distinguished with 10 out of 10 goals. And this is more than amazing. Now I am lost for words, really, to explain how everybody in the club did it with so much commitment and work and dedication to quality and openness to new members, because everything counts. So it was quite remarkable, and we indeed made history with being a President Distinguished within the first year. That was the recognition, but I would say that one of the highest achievements is, first of all, we have a compact group of committed people. We have a positive and supportive and ambitious club culture, and we have created a movement that has already made history and now is on the way to setting up a legacy. So without spoiling anything, I'm saying that new clubs might be on the way already. But we do need some support, some international support in this kind. Now Laur knows a bit of the strategy, but it's gonna happen. You're gonna hear about new clubs in Albanian-speaking territories quite soon. Now you might wonder, and I'm getting a bit personal in here. So what keeps me going? First of all, it's passion. You remember my story, my fear. So I love public speaking. I love it because it reminds me of one of my top triumphs, one of my top victories in life, the ability to speak. So it did become a passion. Of course, profession, I am eager on assessing and developing talent in every level, at every stage. So again, getting to know people, getting to explore the strengths and the development points of people and helping them grow is very exciting and very motivating also on a professional aspect for me. Third is patriotism. Not nationalism, but patriotism. Because I think that Toastmasters is a solid instrument to build meaningful bridges between Albanians everywhere in the world. We are currently in a quite aggressive brain drain phase. So a lot of Albanians, a lot of talented Albanians are currently living and working abroad. So personally, I see it also in a patriotic aspect. And this is one of the ways also why the second Albanian club operates with the Albanian diaspora, right? To connect the bridges, to unite Albanians everywhere with Albanian language in the center, and proving to us and to Mr. Detractor back in the time that Albanians can do remarkable things together if they put the right passion, if they put the right commitment, the right persistence, and the right discipline. So, in the end, to close, we aim to change the world one Albanian at a time. Now, please open your mics again. This is the final word. The final word is faleminderit. Faleminderit means thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for listening to the story of Tirana and of Toastmasters flagship. I will be very glad to receive questions or comments from you. Thank you.
I think there's a lot of questions here.
Thank you.
Could you please stop the share?
Yeah.
So we have a question from Katya and Elizabeth, and actually after from myself as well.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Now we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, mine is not a question. It's more like a thank you and also a gesture of gratitude because through your experience and also your speech that was really inspiring, we really feel, your passion. And this is something that we should spread around the world because when we are full in love of something, when we really believe in something, with this kind of eyes that are always shining, and we are able to engage more and more people, because we really believe in it. And I think that's the secret that is behind, because we think that in this way we can change the world. We feel that we can. And so this is something that I like to say thank you, because of your experience, we just can keep your secret and do the same, believe in what we are doing and trying to spread the word with our passion and engage more people, because we really think that in this way we can change the world in a better world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Katya. You should see the eyes of all the Tirana members, though. I mean, my eyes are not the only shiny ones. we are all like this. Thank you so much for your comment and for all your support.
Elizabeth.
Thank you. Well, I'm completely lost for words because that was so absolutely inspirational. I've been involved with building new clubs, and normally it is very, very hard work and it takes a long time. But yours feels like a textbook example of how everything ran smoothly. And my question to you is, were there any challenges along the way?
True. Thank you.
If not, why not? Is it because it was like, a new territory as opposed to one like the UK and Ireland where we've been going for that, 50 odd years? But there's something very important in your story that hopefully, if it's repeatable, people can build clubs more quickly. So I just wanted you to hear more clearly if there were any challenges, how you overcame them, and so on.
Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth, for the very nice question. Needless to say, nothing comes without challenges. Now, of course, it's inspiring, and of course, it happened in quite a short time, but the challenges were plenty. So on a very personal level, and I'm referring to the very start, right, when you are trying to build this new entity and this new concept in the country. Now, of course, from myself, it needed a lot of research, a lot of understanding on how things work. Also, exchanging and getting information from people who were more experienced than I was on how to build a club, how to build a successful and sustainable club. So there were a lot of sleepless nights in the beginning, trying to understand everything and trying to have enough answers ready for people that had no clue about Toastmasters in Albania, and of course they had millions of questions. So ideally, I had this need to have as many answers as possible, to keep persuading people to at least come into the demo meeting, or at least come and join the first or the second meeting, right? But of course, you need to believe in it. You need to have that passion, as Katya was saying. So apparently, we radiated. So the people that were involved in the beginning, so we believed quite strongly into this thing, and apparently we radiated to also to people who didn't have a clue. Of course, throughout the months we had members that were not active. We had the so-called sponsoring members, people that just paid for their membership and they never show up in the meetings. We also had some members that came mostly because of the fun and of the initial interest. And once they realized that this is something that it needs commitment and it needs a lot of work, a lot of individual work and a lot of teamwork as well, they eventually left the club. So if we count the whole membership from day one, we reached, I think, more than 40-something people. But currently we are 22. But these 22 that are now active in Tirana are committed, are progressive, we are a strong and solid team, right? So of course it had some challenges, and also trying to build up a club culture. So trying to make the right decision. So yeah, it's the first one, but do we have another identity besides being the flagship club, if you would call it like that? So how do you choose the sort of membership that we are trying to build? How are you? What kind of people do you want to welcome, and what kind of people will be involved eventually and stay motivated within the club? So these were, of course, challenges, Elizabeth. Of course, they go on to this day, but I think that we overcame the challenges because of the passion and because of the teamwork, and because that at least that core team of people, of members of Tirana, put things through and kept persisting. And most importantly, we challenged the idea that this is only for fun. This is also fun, but it's not only fun. This is work and this is development. And fun comes after. So let's have fun and let's drink beers and let's sing karaoke, right? But we need to be concentrated. We need to do the club success plan. We have the DCPs that we are pursuing, right? So not by chance we managed to get the President's Distinguished, because since day one, not actually day one, but at least in September, we had very clear in our mind that we wanted to do things properly. Now, we didn't imagine the President Distinguished, so very honestly, Select Distinguished was our most optimistic target, but it's excellent to being able to reach that milestone. Yeah, thank you.
I have a question for you. Now, you're talking, of course, about delivering value, right? I'm a value guy, right? You know, what is my unique value here? Every single club needs to understand what makes it different from the next one over. Naturally, you more or less understood that part, right? You're talking about the fact that it's working, you know, development, etc. What I have a question for you, now that you are finishing your first year as president, the club is finishing its first year in existence. How have you ensured that you nurture a good leadership pipeline? Right, you, I'm sure, are already thinking about your successor. I might even guess who she will be. Uh, I don't know, actually. But you need to. What have you done to ensure that, okay, this passion continues?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Laur. I started thinking about succession, I think it was before Winterthur. So since November already, I mean, as we were cooperating with setting up Winterthur, I started to spread the little seeds, in the sense that trying to, first of all, understand which one of the team members, and especially the officers of the ExCom, what were their plans for the upcoming term. You know, just a chit chat, just a conversation. Hey, how about, have you thought about it? If not, it's okay. We're going to take your time. We're going to think about it again. So it was built up quiet, consistently, and slowly. And it came from the team members as well. So I'm not taking the credit that I was the one to appoint nor to persuade, but in a very proactive manner, I started personally thinking about this quite early in time, just because it was so important to keep the flame awake and to keep it shining brighter, right? I mean, at the end of the day, all my fellow members know this goes beyond myself as Endri, this project. So it's much bigger. As I said, we aim to change the world one Albanian at a time. So this is quite an objective, I would say. And the people that understand this are, of course, on board. And already we have people that are thinking, by the way, we have the elections in the 13th of May. I think at least some of the members, not only they know what they are running for, but they also have some very specific programs in their agenda on how to improve and how to keep improving the thing. We are speaking about standards now, Laur, in the sense that we are trying to think of the best bylaws and the best procedures to increase the efficiency of the club business and to increase the motivation and the retention of members and so on. So these are the topics that we have been discussing at least for the past 3 or 4 months. So fortunately, we are not thinking anymore about the typical one, lack of membership and so on, but we are speaking standards, sustainable standards that go beyond Tirana, that go beyond Toastmasters Tirana. Looking for new clubs. That's the next priority, and keeping the president distinguished even for the second year and later.
It's very doable, and I believe you can do it. Okay, we have a question from Meltem. I think we'll have 1 or 2 more questions, and then we'll wrap up this webinar. So Meltem, please.
Thank you, Laura, for the organization. Excellent meeting. Congratulations, Endri. Very successful story. My kind question is your presentation. During the last May, you invite more than 90 people and join maybe around 10 people. If today you make this invitation, which segmentation would you like to invite guests for prospective guests or prospective members? What would you like to change? Who can be good candidate for the guests to start their membership? What would you like to change?
Thank you, Meltem. Now, we haven't been very that thorough about the segmentation, in the sense that in a very natural way, the typology of the member of Toastmasters Tirana are professionals, established professionals. The youngest is 29 years old. So we in an age range 30 to 50 something. So you have established professionals. Most of them are managers, either HR people or technical people in the majority of them. But going back to the demo meeting, I mean, of course, in the beginning, it was very generic, right? So we had some people that didn't come, of course, but a lot of them actually rejoined, not immediately, but they are now coming back after the demo meeting. So we don't have a clear answer to that yet. Now we know for sure that Toastmasters Tirana, being the first and being established and a quality club, needs to be or needs to stay a flagship in the country. So it's an advanced club. I mean, currently it's an advanced club. So we need to take care of that. That's why we're already thinking about establishing some new clubs, maybe a club for students or for youth, for instance, or an entry level, if we call it like that, in order for them to transfer to Tirana eventually. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for being with us. So yeah, Meltem, I hope I answered to your question. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have 1 more question if anyone has any other question from any of the other guests.
Or somebody from Tirana.
Or somebody from Tirana. Yes, you're all guests in my growth acceleration series tonight.
They can ask a question to themselves. I mean, not to me.
Well, actually, that is a good question. What question did you ask yourself now of yourself as members of Tirana? It's a perfectly interesting question as well.
That can be a closure, right? We have 3 members of Tirana, so they can say what questions do they ask themselves now.
Yeah,
Francesca.
Can I? Okay.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, okay. No, it's not a question, in fact. It's Endri made sure that the whole speech congratulated everyone, the sponsor, the mentors, but I think he forgot one person. And the person itself is Endri, the one who kept the vision ongoing. And I think without the vision, you cannot go anywhere. And this is what I have encountered through our this new 1 year that we made all together. It's that vision that kept the club growth ongoing and ongoing. And without yeah, without Andrew's vision in this case, none of the rest would be done the way it was done. So yeah, big applause for Endri.
Thank you.
I think this is actually a good way to wrap it up, which is it's important to practice self-gratitude as well, right? Especially in this organization. You know, we always strive to be the best, you know, for excellence, distinguished, doing whatever, but you always have to appreciate even yourself that you were able to get there, right? We didn't come in knowing nothing. Or rather, we came in maybe not knowing nothing, but not very much. And at the end of the day, the most central and important aspect of Toastmasters is positive self-learning, right? It's positive self-learning and development. Remember to stay positive. And I think that, Endri, you showed us that this is something you have done. At least I hope so, right? I hope it resonates. And it probably really is what helped also Albania become such a, you know, strong geography that's on the rise right now. Uh, because you know how to say, wow, I did it. I did it. You know, I
We.
did it.
We did it.
But we did it. Right. No, of course it's we did it, but it's the I, it's the we, it's the self, right? So again, if you, do you have any other closing statements? Your Honor.
No. No.
Well, then I would like to say thank you, Endri. Thank you to the members of Tirana and Albanian speakers abroad who came in today. Thank you to all of our guests who came in from our own district and from our other districts in the world. You're doing a great job, right? It's a huge round of applause to you, the whole team.
Thank you.
You're doing something that many people have said is very possible or is very hard. It's hard, but you're doing it. So it was an honor and it was a pleasure to have you. And I would like to say thank you. And our next series will be on May 1st. It'll be featuring Panayotis Karanikas. He's the president of Thessaloniki Toastmasters. They'll be talking about how they achieved both President Distinguished and high renewal and retention rates and so forth in their own fun way. So May 1st, 7 p.m. Rome time, CEST. This will be posted on YouTube, so like, comment, subscribe. The link will be there to our Toastmasters District 109 YouTube channel. See you all in the next one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Faleminderit.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Faleminderit.